Good morning and welcome to Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition on 92.9 KVRE, online at kvre.com, and on iHeartRadio. I'm Mark Oliver, joined by my partner in crime, the Dr. Tracy Simpson. Tracy, how's it going this week, buddy?
Oh, man, Mark. Yeah, we're getting pumped up, dude. Right now, I mean, I've had so many calls, so many texts, everybody, high school football. I'm telling you, if I was a horse, I'd be on my bit, in the lead, ready to roll. The doctor is in the house.
Yeah, Tracy is TikTok famous now, so when he tells you, I don't use social media, just know that he is a flat-out phony. Hey, I looked at the calendar. It's August. That means high school football is coming up, literally, later this month. And our high school football summer preview series resumes this week with an inside look at the Hot Springs Trojans. The boys from Troy were bitten by the injury bug late in the season last year, fell just short of the playoffs, but a big move at quarterback and some other transfers has the hype sky high for the squad, entering with a clean slate this fall. Coach Daryl Burnett joins us on the show this week. Coach, good morning, and thanks for having us with you.
Good morning. Thank you for having us. Super excited.
So, Coach, last season, look, had some highs, had some lows. What were some of those lessons that the team was able to take away from that final stretch last year?
Well, the biggest thing is sense of urgency, not taking the day for granted. And then, just holding each other accountable, whether it's in the classroom, in the weight room, on the football field. And our guys so far, man, they're a close group. They've been doing a good job. They know where we're at. They know where they want to be. So our biggest thing is just addressing who we are, addressing that we didn't live up to the high expectations and the high rankings last year, and we came short. Not to make any excuses, but look yourself in the mirror as coaches, as young kids, and figure out how you're going to fix that mistake daily. So that's our biggest thing we're working on right now, holding each other accountable. And that don't mean it was a bad thing going on. That's just the kid runs the wrong route. It's all right if your quarterback puts you in place. If a kid don't fit in the right gap, it's all right if your linebacker corrects you. Don't take anything personal. Just work together as one unit and figure out how we're going to get this thing back going to where we had it the previous 4 to 5 years before we got out the playoffs last year.
Now, Coach, before we start talking about some of the new faces wearing black and gold this fall, let's talk about some of those returners, those guys that they know your system, they have that energy, they're coming back hungry for more. Who are some of the guys leading what I would call maybe the quote-unquote revenge tour this fall?
Man, we got a good senior group. We start out with saying Jay Meadows, 6'2", 195-pound linebacker. He's been doing a great job of whether it's playing tight end on offense, whether it's outside linebacker, inside linebacker, whether it's, holding the guys accountable in the weight room, doing extra. He does a good job. He's a good leader. He does a great job with the younger guys, bringing them along. And then you got Damon Hicks, who played more receiver last year, but started corner and play receiver. He has the FCS offers and D2 offers a long-rangey track guy that plays corner. So we're expecting big things from him. He's pretty much our vocal, our team leader, our big energy guy. Had a great day of practice yesterday. So, we're already in school. So those guys, as well as Robert Blevins, is another senior who made all-conference, went for over 800 yards rushing last year. Been in our program since he was yay high, and been in every workout, been late once his entire career, 4.0 student. So he's done some great things for us. And then we got a senior captain that we got to get to the playoffs for him to get him back. And that's Brevin Brandon, who probably messed up his ACL last year on homecoming, but fought through it. And it bothered him a little more, so he got that fixed. And he's had ACL surgery, haven't missed practice, haven't missed workouts, coaching, teaching, being a leader. So guys like that, you want to make sure you make a good run so they can finish out their high school career on the gridiron and be with their brothers. So those guys have been doing a phenomenal job for us as far as leading, making sure that we get over to that next step.
Coach, being, what you were talking about, accountability and such like that, I know the big year coming up, a lot of the community is is looking at you guys. Of course, we got the new high school coming up, and that's exciting. But it just seems like you guys are getting more and more involved in the community, and I see that as a big respect towards you. You sort of feed that into those kids, not just to be an athlete, but also to be better people and to be better in the community, don't you?
Well, that's going to be the biggest thing. We got a great coaching staff that leads by example, who has been through a lot, and we try to make sure our kids understand that. You know, as a kid growing up, you think your coaches are perfect. You think they was the greatest growing up, this and that, and we've been knotheads. You know, we've had our few lumps across the head and done some things that we probably shouldn't. So we understand the aspects of being a kid, and we relate to them. We understand that this game of football, if we got a team of 60 kids, it's probably going to be 3 to 4 each class that have an opportunity. So, you know, if you look at the numbers, that means about 55 out of your 60 players won't be going to college for football. So we as coaches, as parents, as administration, we got to figure out what can we do to get them to that next step. And that next step is, you know, being a good young man. And then that next step after that is fatherhood, parenthood. And you do that by taking pride in who you are, what's your last name, representing your school, your community, and also just giving back, because our Pee Wee kids look up to our older kids. So that's why we open up doors. That's why we visit schools. That's why we do our community service. That's why they help out with our young Pee Wee programs at practice, whether it's on Saturdays. So they do a good job, man. 'Cause I don't care where you at. When we first got here, I think 7 years ago, it goes by so fast. That was one of the biggest things we noticed that we wanted to implement was, you know, taking pride in wearing that black and Vegas gold, you know, and rock it around the town, you know, and be proud of where you're from, be proud of your school, be proud to compete, and our kids have bought into it, you know. So if they're not, they won't be with us because, you know, we want to make sure that we represent Hot Springs and that we want to be top of the line.
So, Coach, of course, the elephant in the room, you've got a new quarterback coming in this year. Bishop Allen's the real deal. Tracy and I have seen him play when he was at Malvern, and, of course, the Jamie brothers coming from Malvern as well. Tell me about some of these new faces and what they bring to the Trojans this fall.
Well, man, you know, you start with the quarterback, man. He's an elite leader, man. Arm talent is really really good. Just yesterday, you know, we watched him practice. He's directing receivers, making sure you hold him accountable. He's a competitor. He wants to win. He wants to play at the next level. So, you know, it's just good to have a guy that wants to be good and, you know, is not afraid of the moment. And then you got the brothers that's coming here. They're explosive. They're talented. The reason why Gabe was probably all Arkansas as a ninth grader, he's a dynamic force on both sides of the ball. And you talk about Louis, you just talked to another Division I school on him. He's a receiver / D-bag. Well, we actually got him all over the field. So just trying to create matchup problems. So he's a very smart kid, and it's the reason why he got an Ivy League school offer. And then I think, you know, the one kid that a lot of people are forgetting about, who had a whole lot of buzz last year before he messed up his groin and quad, was Antoine Berry. He's probably sitting about 6 foot, 6'1", 210. He had tons of interest from Arkansas and some other schools because he's a big running back. They can play linebacker and ran track and had good track times. So he's another kid that we're expecting to do good things for because he's back healthy, and he showed yesterday he's a hard-nosed runner. And then, you know, we got, you know, the two big guys that, you know, they're big and athletic, and that's talking about Sean Amos and LeBron Moniker. Sean Amos would be another guy who just started at deep tackle who done a phenomenal job. He'll have a chance to go play college ball. And then you got LeBron Marker that everybody's picking up. He got the offers from Southern Miss, UCA, and just yesterday during practice, I had to pull him off the field because Oklahoma State is turning up the heat on him. So, you know, it's some big things going for him. But like I tell the kids, all that don't mean nothing anyway. You know, that's the biggest thing. You can have all the individual talent, and there's nothing wrong with being an individual, but how are you going to help the team win? You know, you do that by doing your job. You do that by doing your lifts. You do that by taking care of your grades, and that's how you benefit the team. It shouldn't be anything about I. It should be we, and trying to figure out what we're going to do. We got a tough schedule. It's fun, and no excuses, but it's going to be explosive on offense with our playmakers because we got another receiver, Jamarcus Morning, who got offers. You know, You look at the Who's book, we got 3 guys in the top 50, and I tell those guys I love the pressure because now you got to stand up. You got to stand up on it. You got to prove your ranking. You got to prove that you worked it. You got to prove that, hey, all this individual talent don't mean crap if you can't put it all together in a team setting, offense, defense, special teams, community weight room, all over the board. So it's big things expected from this group.
Yeah, I love all of that energy, of course, all of the mantras that your team, that your guys live by. Hey, you mentioned the schedule. This year's schedule looks tough as well. You've got 2 reigning state champions on the list. Lakeside is tough, a huge rivalry match in Week 10. Tell us a little bit about this year and some of the goals and the plans to get it done this fall.
Man, the first game is not even mentioned on the schedule as us. You know, it's starting in July, they're starting in August, they're starting here right now. We already in school, so, you know, take care of your business in the classroom. That's a win. Take care of your business in the weight room. That's a win. Take care of how you practice and how you prepare. That's a win. And we tell our kids all the time, the way you prepare is the way you're going to play. And it don't matter who you playing, and if you prepare right, that builds confidence. And we all know this game. I played college ball. It's 80% mental. It's how you approach that football field. It's what's your mindset with your opponent. Do you walk out on the field hoping that you have success? Do you walk out on the field thinking, well, I don't have a chance? And are you going to be that dog that say, man, I expect to win? I'm not worried about who you are. I'm not worried about what's on your jersey. I'm not worried about how big you are. We're going to get in this dog fight. We're going to compete and may the best man win. So after we take care of ourselves this summer, we got our scrimmage against Crosstown Lake Hamilton. Love it because it's always a physical battle. They're going to always keep your eyes in the right spot, so that displays how disciplined you are. It displays how physical and tough we're going to be. And then, you know, we got the tour around America. So you start with West Memphis and Alma, them long trips, and then you look at the top 25 in Arkansas. I think you got Arkadelphia in the top 25. You got Camden Fairview in the top 25. You got Lakeside in the top 25. You got Parkview in the top 25. And I think outside of 7A opponents, I don't think there's not too many other schools they can say, you know, 4 of their games going to be against top 25 teams. So you want to talk about being a playoff team. You want to talk about going deep. You want to talk about being a contender. Here you go. It's right here in your face. It's here on your own every Friday, except the Thursday game against Arkadelphia. And then you put a target on your back. You know, our quarterback, he got high expectations for the receiver group. You know, a lot of people are taking his comments about having the best receiver core in 5A. You know, a lot of people are taking that, and some like it, some don't. But like I tell them, once you put them words out, it's time to back it up. Yeah, we got this guy with an offer, this guy with an offer. 3 of them got offers, and one of them was all Arkansas as a 9th grader. Yeah, you got the talent, but now it's time to go show it and go put on a show and do it the right way. So big things ahead, tough schedule, but you can't run from it. You can't run from it. And I tell people all the time, I'm not one of them coaches that think negative. I'm not one of them coaches that hope. My first year here, I think we wasn't good. We was awful. And I never went the game thinking we was going to lose. I thought we was going to win every game, and that's still the same. You know, you prepare, you plan, you better win. So that's how we're going to always approach it, kids, coaches, and everybody.
Hey, Coach, speaking of that, you know, last year a little bit of a down year, but with these new players, are you looking at maybe a different style, or are you going to keep with that same program that you guys, I mean, because obviously the play calling's been great, you know, just some things didn't work out with the injuries and such, but you're going to keep that same style on offense and defense, or you're going to try to change up a little bit, or without giving too much away? Tell us a little bit about that.
Man, it's football. You know, it's no secrets, man. So, you know, it's not like the old school days where you had to travel 3 hours to deliver a tape. It's out there on film.
Right.
Offensively, yeah, I want to get back to how we did 2-3 years ago with Matt Contreras, Octavius Rose, T.J. Bard, and Derry Hicks, all them guys. We want to chunk the ball all over the field. And, you know, some people use the run and set up the pass, but we was really good when we used the pass to set up the run. But I think we implement a screen game that's good. I think we implement some ways to get guys the ball in space. Then we got some offensive linemen. They're new, true enough, but they want to be physical, so that's the main part. And then defensively, we had 2 safeties that went on to play college ball, so we put a lot on them. This year, we're just going back to what we've always done. It's a 3 front, 4 front, 3-3 stack, 4-2-5, but it's all types of the same personnel. So you really don't know what we're going to be in, and we want to be aggressive. We got some good defensive backs that want to make plays on the ball. So our biggest thing, we will change. We will change a little bit because what we did didn't work last year. So and we had a veteran group, so we're changing quite a bit, you know. And we're not just saying it because we didn't see like we want to, but you got to look what kind of personnel you got. We got receivers out the wazoo, so why not throw it? You know, you got safeties that can play nickel. You got linebackers that can do interchangeable things. So why not be a three front and move guys around and make guys think, you know, because as coaches, we can call the right play, but the kids the ones got to play. They're the ones that got to think fast. They're the ones that got to know their rules and know everything they're doing in order to be successful. So we will be changing up some things.
Coach, not necessarily football related, but I've got to comment on it. I drive past Emory Street all the time, and wow, the way that this campus has grown, all the big changes, and there have been some major changes this summer. Of course, like you said, school is already in session for the Trojans. Everybody else is enjoying summer vacation. You guys are already putting the work in. What can you say about the growth of these facilities that seem to just get better and better every year?
And it's good. You got to compete. I don't care what you're in, football, basketball, track, school district-wise, who got the best pavement, who got the cleanest campus. You got to compete in everything. So the things our school board members and our soups and our admin are doing for our kids is really well. Please, I'm sitting in the office right now looking at the football stadium doing an interview. So, man, it's always good, man, that you want to compete. It's always good to see that people above you are taking things serious, you know, because I don't care where you're at, man. I don't care if you're down south. I don't care if you're in Central Arkansas, Northwest. I don't care if you're back home in England. When people put time and money and interest in your kids and they show that they want them to do better, that's all you can ask for. That's all you can ask for as a head coach. That's all you can ask for as a parent who has kids in the district. So the new high school is amazing. The junior academies are amazing. The basketball arena is amazing. Fixing the new junior high weight room, which is going to be nice. Indoor complex is nice. There's no excuses. You got everything you need here. You know, you just got to figure out, you know, how to get us to that next level. And that's in every sport. That's in academics. That's in everything. So with us talking about the schools, I'm going to give a shout out to our admin, our teachers, our educators, you know, for increasing our school rankings. And that's pretty much all our schools. We didn't have schools go from a F to a C, D's to B rankings, ratings. So we're doing some good things, and we're competing, and we're not running from what we see. We're going to address it. We're going to get it fixed. That's in all categories here at Hot Springs School District.
The man, the myth, the legend, Coach Daryl Burnett of the Hot Springs Trojans. We're super excited for the boys of Troy this fall here in Hot Springs. Coach, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck this season.
Man, I appreciate you guys for having me. Thank you.
Much more to come on Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition. Don't go anywhere. We're back in a moment. 92.9 KVRE.
Second quarter coming up.
And we're back. Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition, 92.9 KVRE. He's Tracy Simpson. I'm Mark Oliver. Tracy, it's August. High school football around the corner. But August is also well known in the Spa City for Hot Springs Baseball Weekend. It's coming up in just a few short days. It all begins Friday. The opening game of the Babe Ruth World Series, the 14U, will be taking on Nigeria Friday night to start off the whole weekend. And this team, Tracy, for Hot Springs, absolutely loaded, full of young talent. Some of the youngsters I know really, really well, but just want to name drop the guys real quick. Representing Hot Springs, Arkansas, Bentley Jester, Luke Layton, Pike Thaxton, Alfie Thompson, Luke Deshawn, Max Moncrief, Jake Gaston, Easton Major, Kane Hollyfield, Easton Duke, Preston York, Bryce Quinton, Klein, Schumann, and Price White. These guys are going to try to take on the world beginning this Friday night. Where else? Majestic Park in Hot Springs. Get your tickets now. $10 per day, $8 per kids, or you can buy tournament passes for the whole tournament. $50 for adults, $30 for kids.
Man, just excitement. The vibe is in the air already all week long. I think I've had people talking to me about it and stuff, but just to think about that, to be a part of something like that is something special right in our backyard. And you and I have talked about this for quite some time. It was just mere luck with an arrangement that double booking in Oklahoma that Majestic was able to pick it up and get this tournament. But also, we got to give a big shout out to the director down there too, because he was able to step up, talk to the community, and then get the backing, and then to do it. Because you put on something like this, everybody thinks, well, the team show up and they just play ball. It's not just that easy. And for them to get this thing organized and get it the way it is with all the volunteers and getting things shifted in position, because Mark, this is the world, dude. This is huge for not only the Majestic, but for the town of Hot Springs. And this is something special. This doesn't come around just, every other year,
We've seen big things for Majestic Park over the past few years. This is the biggest thing that I think that Derek Phillips would say that Majestic Park has ever had in its very great short run so far. And of course, throwing out the first pitch Friday night, some MLB legends like Johnny Bench, Fergie Jenkins, Steve Garvey, Brett Saberhagen, Bill Spaceman Lee, and of course the Mad Hungarian Al Hraboski. I mean, Friday night, this is where you want to be. And then you want to turn around next Saturday because all the festivities happening at the Hot Springs Convention Center. They'll have the Ruth versus Otani GOAT debate from Bill Jenkinson, a huge baseball card show, and baseball cards are sky high in popularity right now. Bill Spaceman Lee is going to share stories from his career. Steve Garvey, the NL MVP, is going to talk about his time with the Dodgers and Padres. Brett Saberhagen is a two-time Cy Young winner. He's going to share his insights on his career. Fergie Jenkins, the legendary Cubs pitcher, is going to talk about his time. Johnny Bench may be the greatest catcher in MLB history. Cal Raleigh's probably coming for him. I bet he mentions Cal Raleigh in his speech in his time with the Big Machine Reds that afternoon. And then, of course, Ask the Pros, ending everything on a Saturday afternoon. And the best part about it, Tracy, my favorite part about it, it's free.
Yep, free. Absolutely.
You can just walk right in and enjoy all of it for free.
And the air conditioning. Yep.
And air conditioning.
Yep, everything. Just sit down. And here's what's crazy about it, is they just talk to you. They'll come around. I mean, afterwards, of course, they all get up and do their talks and stuff like that. But if you've got the time and you sit around, you can ask them questions. And they sit there and just talk to you like there's nothing to it. And I'm just wondering, do I bring my baseball cards and get them to sign them, or does that take the value?
No, you absolutely bring them. And here's the thing. I'm glad that you brought that up. Yes, baseball cards are skyrocketing right now. But assuming that you're not going to be a scalper and try to flip them or anything, right. It's just a really cool experience. Right? And the best thing about these guys, you hear these names that are here, and a lot of these guys, they keep coming back year after year after year. And it's not like other pros, or, you go to these regional card shows, or you have the meet and greets, and, you got to pay $50 just to take a photo with them, or you have to pay $50 just to get their autograph. No, not these guys. Not here. We're different here.
No doubt. It's almost like an honor for them to come back here to
they
be
love
a part of it.
They love it.
Yeah, I can't wait. Like you said, Bench. Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah,
that I've got chills because if you think this happened back in the years, but when the Orioles and the Reds were going at it back in the 70s, and who my third base,
oh yeah,
and going at it, and then getting to see, and I remember being at Hot Springs Boys and Girls Club, all right, where Majestic Park is, and literally they would bring out, Coach Sitek and them would bring out a sheet. Now I'm not kidding, a sheet. And he would get film of it because he had connections with the Detroit Tigers where he pitched and stuff. But he had film of it. This is literally on reels. And we would all circle around when it got dark. And he would show the World Series. He would show on the sheet of those guys playing. And I can't wait to talk to Johnny or Mr. Bench or whatever about that, because literally sitting there and watching it on a sheet on right there at the Boys and Girls Club, man. It was so cool. The real video and everything. And just experiencing that. Now we get to see him live right here. Can't wait.
That's a really big deal, and all these names are huge, and there's something for everyone. No matter which team you love, no matter how big into baseball you are, I guarantee your youngsters are, and definitely want to see these guys. Like I said, Johnny Bench, probably the best catcher ever. I know that. When I go to ask the pros, if I get a turn to ask a question, I'm asking him about Cal Raleigh and what he thinks about the big dumper.
That's going to be exciting.
Absolutely. So all this is happening next weekend. It all starts with the Babe Ruth World Series. I still can't believe we have it. Majestic Park is the place to be. 15 teams all around the world. Hot Springs takes on Nigeria Friday night. There's also teams from the Philippines, Mexico, New Zealand. You name it, they are here.
Yeah, exciting times. I can't wait. And once again, we appreciate everybody that's a part of this, all the volunteers. Of course, we want to thank all the executives, everybody that's part of this. We can't thank them enough to make this happen. And it's really been big, Mark.
When we come back, our high school football summer preview series continues with a look at the Jessieville Lions. Don't go anywhere. We're back in a moment. 92.9 KVRE.
Third quarter coming up.
And we're back. Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition 92.9 KVRE, online at kvre.com and on iHeartRadio. He's Tracy Simpson. I'm Mark Oliver. Our high school football summer preview series continues with a look right up the road at the Jessieville Lions. A respectable 9-3 season resulted in a playoff win for the Lions. But with a new but familiar head coach at the reins, the Lions are determined to take the team even further this fall. Coach Jonathan Bates joins us on the show this week. Coach, welcome back to Jessieville. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what led you to becoming the head Lion this year.
So, my name is Coach Jonathan Bates, born and raised here in Jessieville. Played for Coach Phillips, Coach Savall, Coach Pierce. About 5-6 years ago, I had the opportunity to come back here and be Coach Burke's defensive coordinator. Coach Burke took a job at Lake Hamilton to pursue administration that he's wanted to go into for the past couple of years. With that being said, he had a large part in it. One of the things that our administration wanted was keep continuity going with the kids, with the staff that we had. So, after all that was said and done, I'd always want to be a football coach and a head football coach because of the imprint that was made on me from my coaches. So once that came open, then there was no doubt in my mind, with my wife working here and my children going to school here, that this was a place for me after thought and prayer. So I would just like to tell the administration, Coach Burke, Coach Huff, Ms. Spears, school board, thanks for allowing me to be in this position.
Yeah, absolutely. No place like home. An absolute no-brainer, right? You get to represent the school that you used to walk the halls in. And of course, you mentioned some of those coaching greats at Jessieville over the years, guys that have really helped mold the future of football players and great young men. And now you're back looking to do that very same thing. Now, as the head coach of this team, Jessieville had a pretty good season last year, the 9 wins, the playoff win. What is your vision for the team with your first year at the helm, just about ready to get started?
So kind of a little bit of a hierarchy in the way that I look at it. Obviously we want to win every home game that is. Then after that, we'll expand on it a little bit more. Win every game, and then from that point, host a home playoff game, and then obviously, everybody's goal is to be in the Rock. Come that weekend in December. So, we just want to continue to build on what Coach Phillips has established, in the years past. What Coach Burke has continued to press on with. We want to add on to it. We want to continue to have continuity. We want, obviously with me being defense coordinator, our defense isn't changing very much at all. And our offense, when we hired a new guy to call offense, because Coach Burke had always been that guy, we wanted to keep it as continuous as possible. So whenever we were looking to do that, we were looking to see who might have some of the same philosophy, because it's easier for, if we can find somebody and the kids don't have to change, that's what we want to do. Then we wanted to talk to this guy about terminology. And that's one of the things that he's been all about. It's easier for one guy to change than have to ask the whole team to change. And he has done that. So, we're extremely excited. We feel that we can continue to build off of what the success that we had last year. and we just want to be continuous and continue to add to that continuity that we've had.
Coach, as it is right now, you've got some returners coming back, which is key, of course, when you being defensively minded, that wins championships. But once again, now talking about offense, hey, they put some numbers on the board last year. And with the continuity like you were talking about, do you see that as already you're looking positive in that, but then having to rebuild the defense just a little bit to mold around you?
So, offensively, defensively, both. It's one up front. We have a couple guys that we've had to replace from last year, but looking at it this summer, I feel excited. I really do. We got depth on the offensive and defensive lines. Defensively, we can kind of tweak things depending on if we're playing a ground and pound team that's real big up front. We can put some bigger guys in there. Playing these spread teams that want to spread it, from sideline to sideline and vertically down the field, we can put some smaller guys in there up front. So defensively, it can be a little bit more difficult than the offense, offensively up front. So, we have the size up front where we can take and we can push people down the field, obviously with our size and our strength. But, we want to be multiple. We want to be able to get it out on the perimeter. We want to line up and run right at you. Whatever we want to do, we want to try to be able to dictate what the defense is doing against us offensively, and we also want to be able to dictate what the offense is doing against us defensively. So, all in all, it's going to start up front. Offensively, we're replacing Luke Graves, that was our center, and then we are replacing Xavier Wilson up front on the offensive line. Both those guys were very, very big for us last year. Defensively, on the defensive line, we're having to replace Denali Carroll. And Denali was an explosive defensive end for us. He had a quick first step, and he disrupted a bunch. So if we can really continue to add to what those guys did and add depth like I've seen this summer, I think we could even go even a little bit further. But the big thing is whenever you graduate a class of 14 seniors, you got to be ready to next guy up. We got to have a group that's ready to lead it, because that group there that we had, Dalton Ellison, Jacob Marquez, Tony Swallow, and I'm going to miss some because I don't have their names just right in front of me. But all that group of seniors that we had last year that I've already called out, they were big leaders. This senior class that we have now that's stepping up that was juniors last year, Levi Anderson, Nick Bailey, Elijah Butler, which he played with a lot of those guys. All these guys did. Kason Clark, Ethan Lewis, Nick Pye, Tristan Rogers. These are all guys that got to see how that bunch led last year, and I really do think that they will just take off where they left from last year because of that.
Of course, Coach, you talked about some of the challenges already. Everybody loses guys to graduation every season, right? But some of these juniors from last year that are seniors this year, just like you said, they have that experience. They got that play time, so they're not coming in super green to the leadership role in the new season. But let's talk about quarterback play. Of course, losing such a great quarterback to graduation. What does that look like for you? And give us a sneak peek of what the captain of the offense might look like this fall.
So Jacob Graves is the guy at quarterback. Dalton had a dinged-up shoulder towards the end of the year last year, and Jacob got a lot of reps at quarterback. Coach Burke had some packages where Jacob even got to step in and be the quarterback because he was looking ahead, and he knew that some playing time would be very, very crucial for Jacob. And obviously he got a lot of playing time because he rushed for over 1,000 yards last year. And then at the start of the season, he was also a key cog in our defense at safety. He made the game-saving tackle against Haskell Harmony Grove that kept the guy from getting a first down, and that was on fourth down. So, the guy's a ball player. I can't say enough about Jacob. He's a leader. He's a vocal leader. He's a leader by example. He's just that type of guy. He leads in the weight room, and you come in and you look at him, and you're like, okay, this guy, when we get to talking about a quarterback, you don't look at Jacob because of his build and think he's a quarterback. But he likes to refer to himself as a running back that can throw. Well, he's a true dual threat guy. He can push the ball down the field. He can pull the ball down. He can take off and run with it. He can design quarterback runs. He excels in those too. And he's a durable guy. He's about 5'10", probably about just a little bit over 200 pounds. I mean, he's a 400-pound squatter, 245, 250-pound power cleaner, and probably a 250-pound bencher. And he's only going to be a junior. So I'm definitely excited about getting the opportunity to have him this year and next year. then we have some other guys behind him that are quality backups. So, I'm definitely excited about that position.
Coach, let me ask you this, and this is coming from the heart, man. You wore that blue. You've been around that blue a long time. You've been a part of those lines. What's it like, being a part of something when you played, and now you got the turf, man? You rebuilt it and everything. How does that make you feel being right at home?
Oh, man, you get goosebumps. You get a little choked up every time you talk about it. So, get there with me.
Heck yeah, man. Oh.
So,
no, it's awesome. A lot of these guys that I get to coach, I grew up with their parents, got to wear that blue and white right beside them. Talking about Graves, his mother and I graduated together. You talk about Ellison that graduated last year. His dad was my next door neighbor. So pretty special. Pretty special.
No doubt, Coach.
So, Coach, tell us a little bit about the summer. Have the Lions been able to participate in any kind of 7-on-7s, team camps? And if so, what have the results from the summer really shown you about this year's team?
So, yes, we participated in 7-on-7s, lineman challenges. We coming back from so leading up to Dead Weeks, we've done a lot of 7-on-7 running plays and stuff here, just blue on white stuff. Had new coaches that we had to hire, so I didn't really want to put a lot of stress on them about trying to get here and do that. So after Dead Weeks, we fired that up, and man, I've been extremely excited with the results of our 7-on-7s and our lineman challenges I've been doing. So like I said earlier, that where we finished last year, I feel that we could even make a push to even go a little further. So I'm definitely excited, and I love what I've seen out of the guys. Leadership, hard work. We talk about an equation for success, and it's just consistency plus hard work equals success. And to me, that is it. That's the embodiment of this group of guys that we have from the 10th to the 12th grade.
Coach, let's talk about the schedule. Looking at the list this year, tell us about some of those must-see games and maybe some of those games where you might benefit from having a few extra fans in the stands in order to help to get that win for you guys.
Yes, sir. We start off with a scrimmage at Poe, and to me, it's first game up every week. You approach every game like it is the first game, or you approach it like it's the last game. You go lay it on the line. So I'm sitting here looking at the schedule. We got a scrimmage against Poe, and we really want to see where we're at there. And then the next week we got Mayflower. Mayflower came to our place last year, and they beat us 33-21, I believe, something like that. Anyway, it was a top ball game, but there in the end they wound up pulling away. Then the next week, and I can't really just single one out. That to me they're all must wins. But we got to have that. Then the next week we have Mount Ida at home. And if you know anything about Mount Ida, they got a lot returning. I was also an assistant coach for Coach White over there, and then Coach Phillips and Coach Sabal, they were both from Mount Ida. So even though they're not in our conference anymore, it's still a matchup that we always like. We know that we're going to get a quality opponent. We know we're going to get an opponent that'll hit you square in the mouth. But when they do that, they're also going to lend a hand and help you back up if they do. So, we love that challenge. Then we have Haskell Harmony Grove. These are all non-conference games I'm talking about right now. And I'm looking at Hooten and Haskell Harmony Grove, according to what they're saying, they have 11 returning on offense and 10 returning on defense. Well, when you have that returning, you got some depth, you got some leadership, I feel like. So that's a tough one. Then you got Magnet Cove we got to go play. So we're getting 3 smash mouth opponents in a row right there that's under center, coming right at you with split backs and a dead tee, then split backs again. Then we go to Two Rivers. They have a new coach. So, I don't really know what to expect from them. They always have a couple guys that's pretty athletic. So that's going to be exciting. Then you got Glen Rose. And to me, until somebody knocks off Glen Rose in the conference, everything still runs through them. We have them coming to our place, so we're definitely excited about that. Then we have Paris. Paris is an up-and-coming team. They've got like 3 classes right here back-to-back that's had a lot of success. Danville, they got their head coach back that had been there for so long. Year before, he came back last year. So I expect them to be drastically improved. Then you got Perryville. Perryville's made a lot of noise. They had lost their quarterback whenever we played them here, and we were able to get a win in overtime against them. Then we have Cutter, and Cutter's coming back to 11-man for the second year. Coach Finley does a great job over there. Last year, early on, they gave us some fits offensively, and it took us a little while at halftime to get that fixed and get it squared away. So, there's not really a down week at all in our conference. even in our non-conference. So we have to bring it every week, and if we don't, it can definitely turn the week upside down. If you let 2 weeks take place like that, then it can turn your whole season upside down. So we got to approach every week like we have a 1-0 mentality. You know, we want to win that week. So it's not really any ups or downs. You better bring it.
Coach Jonathan Bates of the Jessieville Lions. Coach, we are so excited for what the Lions are going to do this year. Good luck this year, and go Lions.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate everything you guys do. Go Big Blue.
All right, gang, we've got more, don't we, Mark? Man, coming up. That was unbelievable, man.
Much more to come on Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition. Don't go anywhere. We're back in a moment on 92.9 KVRE.
Coming up.
And we're back, Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition, 92.9 KVRE with Tracy Simpson. I'm Mark Oliver. Tracy, last weekend, Bank OZK Arena was on fire. The Hot Springs Wise Guys and the Iowa Woo. Of course, the Wise Guys had fallen to the Woo earlier in the season on the road. They come back home. They take care of business. Was it easy? No, far from it, but it was exciting all the way down to the finish. 2 minutes left to go in this game. It looked like the Wise Guys, it looked like the season might even be over. Playoff position was in doubt. With 2 seconds left in the game, they secured the turnover, scored the go-ahead touchdown, recovered the what's essentially the onside kick in arena football. They don't kick, but basically you have to convert a 4th and 20 in order to retain possession. They did it. They won. And now this Saturday night at 7:05, you're here already for Hot Springs Baseball Weekend. Cap it all off with the first home playoff game in team history. Guess who? It's the Woo for round 3 once again.
The rubber match. Well, we'll see what happens.
It is the rubber match, and this one's for all the marbles.
All the marbles.
A trip to the championship game of the Arena League on the line. Tracy, the numbers keep increasing. The fans keep showing up. Attendance is, fun fact, I saw this stat come out. The Hot Springs Wise Guys, in their first year in this league, have the highest attendance out of any team in the league. Safe to say this experiment is paying off rather well for the Wise Guys.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. The excitement's in the air. And we touched on this last week, Mark, about the visibility of them and being in different community aspects of showing up at different places and doing stuff. And I guarantee you right now, just like we talked about last week, pretty sure that their jerseys are going at a premium now, which a lot of folks are out there. You know, things like that, the quarterback, battle that was last week. That was huge visibility for all the local teams. What a great marketing tactic right there. So a lot of fun with that and some other things they've done too.
Well, congratulations to Lakeside quarterback Wally Walcott. He won the QB challenge. It came down to Walcott and Fountain Lake's Cooper Buss. In the end, Walcott had just the tight edge there representing. And of course, it was really cool to see all the area quarterbacks there. I think every single Garland County school was there. I believe Bismarck was there as well. Pretty good marketing ploy. Good job, Chris Goodman. I absolutely loved that. And it wasn't just the QBs that showed up. Their whole teams showed up to back them as well, filling the stands. And when you talk about quarterback play, of course, you talk about the Wise Guys quarterback, Jordan Ambrose, who came in the clutch. I mean, he had been banged up, bumped, bruised, knocked down all game long. Less than 100%, was able to convert that 4th and 20 to really help seal the deal. I mean, that, I believe no matter what, they would have made the playoffs, but the difference of having to travel to Iowa or to be right back at home for the 3rd consecutive week means everything. Now, big question mark this week, is Ambrose going to be ready to go? Took a lot of beatings out there, has had some knee issues here late in the season, but one thing is for certain, the fan energy has to be the X factor in this one. It's home field advantage, high playoff stakes, trip to the championship game on the line. The fans have to show up. This is the big time.
Well, and obviously, when it comes to the, playoffs, you're always amped up a little bit more. So,
oh, yeah.
And I know that everybody during this, you got bumps and bruises already, Mark. That's just part of the sport. And especially in this close proximity, everybody's like, well, they don't get a run. Look, those guys are rolling out there. And I mean, it's a fast-paced game, and so you obviously get a lot of nicks, during this. So, but here's the kicker. When it comes to playoffs, you know that it's one and done.
That's it.
And so
win or go home.
It's that simple. So whatever you're having to ice down, whatever you're having to put a brace on, you just get it and get going, and you go after it. And I bet they'll be amped up and ready to go. I guarantee you that.
I guarantee you that the Oliver clan is going to be in the stands at Bank OZK Arena on Saturday night looking for the first playoff win in team history. How exciting.
No doubt about that, Mark. Think about this, though. They're already getting ready for next year. I saw some of the prep stuff that they were working on, already getting ready for next year. So you're right. I did not know about the attendance record, but it didn't surprise me.
Doesn't surprise me at all. Hot Springs loves the unique, the unicorns out there. Arena football, man, we'll take it. And boy, have we taken it. Hey, a few more things about this game. Of course, they have the Bring the Heat, Bring a Backpack campaign going on for Saturday night, looking for backpack donations to support Garland County foster kids. And it's also Teacher Appreciation Night. Teachers get into the playoffs for free with the online code TEACH25. That's TEACH 25. Free playoff tickets for teachers? Okay, sign me up.
Hey, no doubt about that. There was a few teachers in my life and coaches that got me to the next level. I wouldn't say where I am today, but we'll leave that one alone.
You're doing okay. You're a doctor now.
That's right.
You take staples out of random kids' heads.
We'll leave that one alone. But anyway, this is exciting. Also, though, we want to appreciate all the ones that were involved with that quarterback challenge. Obviously, the respects of Mountain Pine Junior, Isaac Canada, Lake Hamilton that you talked about, Hudson Davenport, Cutter Morningstar, Jacob Smith, Bismarck sophomore, Ethan Hornbeck, and Hot Springs senior, Cedric Bishop Allen. So, but like you said, it went to a playoff, and
it did.
That was pretty cool, hon. And of course, I think we may be calling a little bit of Cooper Bus's name a little bit later on, don't you think?
Oh, I sure hope so. Of course, I know everybody's like, hey, summer football preview series, and you haven't talked about Fountain Lake yet. Oh, we know. We know. It's coming. It's coming. If we haven't talked about your team yet, it's because they're right around the corner, so don't you worry. It's just the beginning of August, and gosh, Tracy, we're, 27 days away from the start of the season. Be here before we know it.
Oh, man, I tell you, that's something exciting. Us doing this preview, though, has got us really pumped up. We're getting a lot of contacts, a lot of calls, a lot of texts about, well, when are you going to do this? This. Look, we've got them lined up. Mark's got them on the horn. I promise you that. And we are getting to all of them. If there's a certain aspect of it and you've got a question, hit our text line, 501-915-1300. If you've got a question that you want us to ask, well, give us a hit, 915-1300. All right, that's right on. I mean, sometimes we got to think out of the box a little bit.
Yeah, and great interviews today. Coach Daryl Burnett, Coach Jonathan Bates, really inspirational men that help develop not only great football players, but great leaders as well. We can't wait to see who we've got next week on tap. Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition is here every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. right here on 92.9 KVRE and online at kvre.com. With Tracy Simpson, I'm Mark Oliver. That's our show. We'll see you next week.
Game over.